Let's go!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yo, you won't believe what I got. Brand new racing rig from P1 Sim Sports. Triple screens, full cockpit. This thing is insane.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are close, and I mean very, very close to the end of the season. After tonight, we've only got 3 more rounds in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. Here we are, Cedar Lake Speedway, round number 10. And man, oh man, just when you thought things might have been out of reach for the rest of the grid, last week, Jesse Newsom with a terrible connectivity issues, so unlucky. He finds himself in a really bad spot points-wise, and that's going to mean a whole lot towards the championship. We'll go over that in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mac Nelson. I'll be your lone voice in the booth here tonight. I'll be pushing all the buttons and making all the calls. Look at Marty the Flagman. Look at him waving that checkered flag to nobody. Still passion, still has conviction, still has integrity. Exactly what we're going to deliver to you guys here tonight. Going to be a really fun night as we race some super late models around Cedar Lake Speedway. Speaking of Cedar Lake Speedway, it was opened in 1957. It is located in New Richmond, Wisconsin. There you can see all the track records there. It looks like Austin Hartman. Oh my goodness, son. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't really think about it when I was copy and pasting it off their website, but oh my goodness. Austin Hartman. What a dog. Their next event is going to be the ASA Stars National Tour Tom Wood Memorial, May 16th, 2026. For you guys that aren't maybe aware of the schedule, it is going to be Cedar Lake here tonight. As you can see, we head to Lernerville next week. That's going to be round number 11 and the penultimate round in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. Round number 12 sees us going to Knoxville Raceway for the championship race. And if things continue to go how they are now, it is going to be a wild, wild show. And I'll tell you what I mean. For a long time, Jesse Newsome had a very proper reign on the championship standings. But not anymore. He is still going to be in the lead, but look at Jeffrey Hyatt. Very, very close behind after that big win last week. Tyler Bickford also going to be in the running, as well as Twisted Speed driver James Murphy in the number 65. So just like that, something that we thought might be a little out of reach for some of these drivers now seems to be a very, and I mean very, attainable goal. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into heat race number 1. We'll go over your starting grid here very, very shortly. Jesse Newsome, your championship leader, is going to be leading the way with Jacob Owens. Outside row number 1, Jeffrey Hyatt and Evan Horton. Shout out to the Evan Horton haters in chat. They've been absent for a few weeks. I don't know where they went. Dwayne Hobbs in the 159. Jacob Isaac in the 023. Going to make up row number 3. Christopher Perini and James Murphy going to round out the grid for heat race number 1. As Jesse Newsome's going to get things started, iRacing Pace Truck's going to have to pour it out of the harm of all these super late models, and we go racing 8-lap heat, ladies and gentlemen. Now, unfortunately, due to the low car count, everybody is going to make it. However, if we were in a normal situation, it would only be the top 3 who advance towards the feature race. Jesse Newsome, after having a terrible week connection-wise last week, he was very, very quick, was leading by about 5.15 seconds when his internet kicked him out. 989 ping, I believe is what it said. Absolutely crazy. And you see Jeffrey Hyatt right there on the inside of Jesse Newsome. It's going to be a big battle between them. I'm sure we're going to be seeing that all night here tonight. Jeffrey Hyatt now looking to run the inside, that low line, kind of bottom feeding it. Jesse Newsome running his typical lines. He sets it low in the corner. Runs it all the way out wide, up where the angels sing, over towards the stretches. And Cedar Lake's one of those tracks where the line is going to be moving so often. I would not doubt if we see the optimal line change, 3, maybe 4 times here during tonight's feature race. White flag in the air. Jesse Newsome back to his winning ways. He is going to win heat race number 1. Jeffrey Hyatt right behind him. Jacob Isaac putting one heck of a fight in, but not able to get it done. It's going to be Jesse Newsome, Jeffrey Hyatt, Jacob Isaac, James Murphy, Christopher Perini, Evan Horton, and Jacob Owens. Going to be rounding out the field there. Now moving on to heat race number 2 and our final heat race. We're going to see Zach Metzner representing Midwest Sim Sports. He is going to be in P1 with TJ Boyd, who got the first podium of his season last week. He is looking to capitalize and do some real good things here tonight in round number 10. Nate Wimhoff, Cameron Carrington going to be in row number 2 with Shotzi, Mr. Brandon Schatz, and Landon Rourke in row number 3. Jason Wilson in the number 97 is going to be in P7 with Derek Darnell in the number 86. Once again, a big shout out to everybody who invited me into your home here tonight for another great show. I can't wait to see what the drivers of the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour can put on here. Unfortunately, car count is just a tiny bit low. You get that, though. You really do get that when you have these seasons and, the championship might be out of contention for a good amount of drivers, It happens, and there's nothing wrong with that, but man, oh man, the guys that still show up week in and week out, they get their elbows out and they get to racing, which is exactly what we're going to be doing here, as Zachary Metzner's going to try not to end the life of the iRacing official pace truck driver Whoa, and Nate Wimhoff might just end Zach Metzner's life anyway. That's going to be a little bit of contact down there on turn number 2. Opening lap here. They've got it 4 wide. Now they've cubed up in a 2x2 formation. That's going to be for the final transfer spot, P3. We're hopping on board with Brandon Schatz here, who looks to be very, very active on that loud pedal. He's another driver, loves setting it down low. He loves to set the tone, get comfortable when he gets into these races, and you can really see it. He's really come into his own. He had a really strong opening to the season. I believe he had a good first 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then things started to kind of mellow out. He wasn't exactly getting the results that he wanted to, but over these past 3 weeks, he has really turned things around and returned to that early season form that we saw, and thrown it all the way back to last year in the Dirt Revival Tour. He's looking like the DRT Shotzi we know. So I'm interested to see what he can do here tonight. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, not really any battling to be had. Zach Metzner seems to have this pretty well in hand. He's running a 10th faster than Nate Wimhoff every single lap here. Well, actually, I take that back. Latest time being posted, Nate Wimhoff's going to run faster than Zach Metzner. So as we're taking the white flag here for heat race number 2, it's going to be really interesting to see what Nate Wimhoff can try to accomplish here. Everybody's going to make the feature, but hey, man, that starting spot's going to be real nice if you can get on that front row with the championship leader Newsom, and it's not going to work out, as Zachary Metzner's going to win and immediately head into the pit lane. Nate Wimhoff, Brandon Schatz going to round out your top 3. Cameron Carrington, Landon Rourke, TJ Boyd, Jason Wilson, and Derek Darnell is going to be your grid. Well, we head into the 5-minute warm-up very, very quickly here, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, it's going to be the main event, 80 laps around Cedar Lake Speedway here in the iRacing No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour, live on the OuTPost Racing Network. We'll be back shortly.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at him.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, a big apology, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. Had a little bit of an issue. My iRacing decided it wanted to crash on me. Well, I said, there we go. Let's get into your starting grid real quick. Jesse Newsom going to be on pole with Zach Metzner starting in P2. Jeffrey Hyatt, Nate Wimhoff going to make up row number 2. Jacob Isaac in the 0-2-3 is going to round out that top 5. Brandon Schatz now sitting in P6. He will be outside row number 3. James Murphy, Cameron Carrington, Christopher Perini, and Landon Rourke will get you all the way to P10. Evan Horton and T.J. Boyd going to make up row number 6. Jacob Owens and Jason Wilson going to make up row number 7, with Dwayne Hobbs and Derek Darnell rounding out your grid. Oh, man. Is it a beautiful time to be alive on a Monday night or what? We've got a beautiful virtual Cedar Lake Speedway. We've got 16 drivers all fighting for the win here. $20 on the line every single week we race in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour, either 20 or 25, I cannot remember. But anyway, we're off to the races. Jesse Newsom had a little bit of a blinking problem during the grid up, but he does seem to have a handle on that connection now. It's going to be 80 laps, and as we pull up your race intel, we do have an 80-lap feature. Next week, we go to Lernerville. We've only got 3 races left, and the pressure surely has to be on the number 11 coast-to-coast driver of Jesse Newsom. He had the championship, basically won, and, you know, it's not like he really threw it away or anything. The connection issue really, really hurt him last race. And man, oh man, Zachary Metzner looks to be dialed right now. You know, Metzner pretty much just playing spoiler for Jesse Newsom. You know that there probably is some sort of talk going on in the Midwest camp that if Zach Metzner can get out in front of Jesse Newsom, there might need to be some sort of strategy in play to maybe keep Jeffrey Hyatt right there on the back bumper of Newsom. But just like in normal Newsom fashion, man, he does not look slow whatsoever. But if you look behind, this is going to be a battle for P3. It's going to be Nate Wimhoff around the outside of Jeff Hyatt, man. He's using up a lot of his stuff here early. We'll have to see how that pans out for him as we get later on in the race. But for right now, Nate Wimhoff in the 48, he is absolutely flying. Just a few cars back, it's going to be the number 10 of Cameron Carrington. He's got Shotzi in front of him and Jacob Isaac behind him. He's going to be trying to put something together. Cameron Carrington, one of those guys, he races for Twisted Speed. He's so talented and he's so fast, but it just seems like he can't put it together through an entire feature cycle. If he's strong early, he falls off late. If he's weak early, he's really strong late. He just, man, he could be such a good driver. I mean, he already is a fantastic driver. I don't really know what I'm talking about here, but man, he could go into that, you know, top 0.5% if he can just get the consistency out and ahead of him. Because there have been some times I've been watching him, and I'm sure the viewers at home have been too, where you're like, wow, how is Cam Carrington not more into the championship fight? He's got such good racecraft, such good speed. Like I said, it's just the minute mistakes that really set him apart from the likes of, you know, Jesse Newsom, James Murphy even, which he's having a little bit of a rough start here. He started in P7 and has not moved. So it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers can really, you know, get a hold of. I'm sure the drivers are going to be telling their teammates to get stuck in. We've got a whole lot of racing here. 15 laps in, no yellow flags yet. Jacob Owens with an overtake, trying to go on the bottom side of Evan Horton there. And if I'm not mistaken, yes, I did. I saw it. Yes. The Evan Horton hate is back in chat, man. We're here. Things are golden again in the iRacing, or in the YouTube chat room, I should say. Never thought I'd see the day again. Jacob Owens still having a big battle. Jason Wilson, who had an incredible drive earlier on in the season, hasn't really been able to catch that flame ever since, but another driver who is very, very talented here. Perini had to jump to the pits. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him, but maybe we'll be able to get a look at that a little later on. Not entirely sure. Jesse Newsom, more to the point, 1 second lead is imminent over Zachary Metzner. It's only going to be about 0.6 of a second. It was 7.5 for a little bit, but this battling going on between Metzner and Wimhoff, probably won't be doing either two of those drivers very well, as that's just going to be fuel for Jesse Newsom to get out and away here at Cedar Lake. Drivers are doing a fantastic job of running their line, kind of get into their position, get stuck in, get settled. And as the track evolves, we'll start to see drivers maybe fall off, maybe get a little faster, depending on their respective strategy here. And here's Jesse Newsom. He's lost the gap by about half to Zachary Metzner. So the number 17 and the number 11 go into blows, go into war. This is going to be, say it was your closest battle on track. James Murphy has just got a heck of a run on to last week's winner, Jeffrey Hyatt, who, like I said towards the top of the broadcast, is going to be the top competitor for Jesse Newsom's championship aspirations. But if we take a look at the points, just real quick, like, Zachary Metzner is up there. He's, not going to be anywhere near a championship by any means, but he is going to be up there in the top 10. James Murphy in P4. He sits P4 in the championship as well. He gets by Jeffrey Hyatt. And Hyatt not running too fast. He's about 0.3 off from what the leaders are currently running. So you have to wonder, is Mr. Hyatt saving? He did say in the interview last week that he didn't care too much for Cedar Lake. He was going to give it his all, though, as all drivers do, without a doubt. We'll have to see just what that entails as we get a little later on in this race. We have already completed 30 laps, though, ladies and gentlemen, so do not sleep. Just shy of 50 laps to go. It'll be 48 once our leader, Jesse Newsom, crosses the line. And he is looking back to normal form. We'll have to make sure the internet does not ruin another race for him. But not even minor blinks, nothing out of Jesse Newsom. So hopefully the connection is running right for the kid. The tires are spinning. The car is moving, I know that for sure. Off to a 0.7 of a second lead over Zach Metzner here. And honestly, unfortunately, these cars are going to be spread out, ladies and gentlemen. There's not going to be much battling to be had. Evan Horton is going to blows with Landon Rourke here, however. So it's going to be Evan Horton versus Landon Rourke. Once again, Landon Rourke in that number 15. But it actually kind of looks like number 10, but Cameron Carrington's also number 10. So, we're 10 weeks in, the numbers, you just got to roll with it, man. You just got to roll with it. One heck of a show, though, here. Christopher Perini is going to declare himself out, so that is going to be Mr. Crispy finishing in P16, and unfortunately, going to be last place on the grid. TJ Boyd not having the best of runs either. He is currently going to be in last place of the active cars out on track. So not exactly what he was hoping for when you have a podium last week. You don't want to come out and run last of active drivers the next week. Jesse Newsom, Zach Metzner, Nate Wimhoff working on some lap traffic now. As you can see, there's the 86 of Derek Darnell. He is not going to be too concerned about the lead lap cars. I mean, he is fighting. He is fighting the leader to stay on the lead lap, in my opinion. I think that's fair. However, I have not addressed the rule book for the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour, so I have no idea if it's against the rules. I have no idea if it's a mandatory move over for the leader or not. So I don't want to, I don't want to put any false claims on anybody or, do any of that stuff, so. Jesse Newsom managed to handle it tactfully, though, and he still holds a half-second lead over Zachary Metzner. Nate Wimhoff, though, trying to insert himself into the picture. It's taking him a little longer to pass Derek Darnell than he would have hoped for. Now, Derek Darnell going to try to hit a crossover on Nate Wimhoff. This man is P14, by the way. Nate Wimhoff currently going to be on the final step of that rostrum if things were to end right now, but it's going to be a 2.7-second gap back to P4, which is going to be James Murphy. Now, if you are the likes of James Murphy, one thing you gotta hope for is really just a caution. You want this thing to group back up. You want these guys to be right in front of you. You don't want to have to battle from 2.6 seconds back. Jacob Isaac is going to get an overtake on Cameron Carrington. We didn't really get to see it. I'm sure they'll be going to blows here for the next few laps, though. So Cam Carrington up one spot. He started this race in P8, however, has only managed to get himself to P7. Was in P6, but like I said, Jacob Isaac did just overtake him. This is going to be your closest battle on track. Although Jesse Newsom and Zach Metzner is starting to heat up just a tiny bit, it seems like these two guys are going step for step here at Cedar Lake. Just 30 laps to go now. We've only been live for 33 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to get all this in and under an hour. I mean, so there's no reason you shouldn't be watching the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour live on the OuTPost Racing Network. Speaking of the OuTPost Racing Network, shameless plug here. I feel like I have to do it. The OuTPost Racing League is starting up May 20th. Now, although I do say it's a league, it is not going to be a standard points constructed and points upheld league. It is going to be one-off races every single Wednesday. Drivers in the community can vote on what car they would like to drive. Voting for Week 1 opens up this Thursday in the OuTPost Racing Network Discord. Drivers will be competing for $20 to win. No questions asked, winner takes all, every single week. Jesse Newsom starting to build somewhat of a formidable gap on Zachary Metzner. It is going to be 0.8 of a second. Just a few laps prior, it was 0.3 of a second. And now with the 159 of Dwayne Hobbs in the way of Zachary Metzner, that only allows Jesse Newsom to push even harder, push even further. Here comes Metzner on the inside of the 159. Dwayne Hobbs, he's going to throw the slider. Dwayne Hobbs with the crossover. They are not letting these lead cars breathe. Dwayne Hobbs is going to forfeit that top line that him and Metzner were fighting over, so it is going to be Metzner who gets past Dwayne Hobbs, but now sits 0.9 back from your championship and race leader, Jesse Newsom. "22 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 21 now that Jesse Newsom has crossed the start-finish line. Cameron Carrington and Jacob Isaac go into blows again. It's like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. They're just back to back to back. Fortunately for us, though, this isn't a bloodline rules kind of match, though, or we'd be seeing probably 10 cautions by now. People would be duplexing each other's cars off the, top bleacher, all that stuff. But look at Cam Carrington, so composed here. He knows Jacob Isaac loves sending it in that middle line. Cam Carrington felt no pressure at all, kind of squeezed up next to him, sat the car down low, dropped his speed, made it around the corner, and now that he's trying to run the high line, he's just not making up the pace that he was on the bottom. So Cam Carrington kinda has to figure something out here. He gets a very good run off the back straight there, but the positioning of Jacob Isaac's car gonna block him from doing anything else with that run. So Jacob Isaac on the defensive, on the big-time defensive, really, and now Cam Carrington is going to shoot the gap under, but he's gonna wash out way up high in the corner. Jacob Isaac's just going to take that back, but Cam Carrington throwing actually everything, maybe even the kitchen sink, at Jacob Isaac now. Just in front of them is going to be Jeffrey Hyatt. He is 2 cars up because of lap traffic. He sits at the very end of the top 5 in P5. Unfortunately for your lead cars, going to be a pretty messy situation. Zach Metzner is 1 second back from your leader, Jesse Newsom. Nate Wimhoff going to be another second back from Zach Metzner. So the top 3 extremely spread out, and then James Murphy's going to be 2 seconds back, and then Jeffrey Hyatt another 3.5 seconds back. So unfortunately, the battles aren't really here. We do get to watch the absolute brawl going on between Cam Carrington and Jacob Isaac, however. They are competing for P6. Brandon Schatz has now entered into the equation. And for Carrington, these points matter. He needs to get into 6th place. I know the championship isn't really going to be a thing for him. He probably mathematically cannot win the championship. However, he can climb up the order as far as he can, and, you know, at least he can say he tried. 10 laps to go. Make it 9 once our leader, Jesse Newsom, crosses the line once again. It's going to be a 1.9 second advantage. Make that 2 seconds for Jesse Newsom to Zach Metzner. Now hold on, because Nate Wimhoff is within striking distance of Zach Metzner. So Nate Wimhoff, only 8 laps left, now 7 now that our leader has crossed the line. He's got to get around the 21 of Jacob Owens. He's got to do it quick if he wants to try to catch up to Zach Metzner. Gap has extended back to a 0.7 second gap. Nate Wimhoff did get it down to about half a second there a few laps ago. We'll update you if anything happens there, but we've still got the 3-wide battle for P6 going on between Isaac, Schatzy, and Carrington. Cam Carrington going to be in the back for this one, but maybe that's exactly where he would like to be. There you see Jesse Newsom in the back of the frame. You can see him hunting down these drivers. That's going to be P8 that potentially is going to get lapped. Zach Metzner still with a 0.7 of a second advantage over Nate Wimhoff, so we head back, or I guess not head back, but we keep watching this battle between Carrington, Isaac, and Schatz. Brandon Schatz around the bottom. It's going to be 2 sticks down for Barney the Flagman, as Jesse Newsom, with a very, very unfortunate ending to his race last week. It was out of his control, but he is going to take the white flag. He has been nothing but in control for this entire race. We got things done at an incredibly fast pace here tonight, gentlemen. The No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour concludes week number 10 already, and it's going to be Jesse Newsom in the number 11 for Coast to Coast Sim Sports, who takes it in, quite frankly, a dominating fashion. Zach Metzner for Midwest Sim Sports gonna finish in P2. Nate Wimhoff gonna round out the final step of that rostrum and claim his spot on the podium. He gets P3 here tonight. Twisted Speed driver James Murphy is going to get P4, with Jeffrey Hyatt finishing P5. The night had just gotten started. Everything was falling into place for all these drivers, and then boom, we're just already finished here. So first things first, we're going to bring our P3 finisher. It's going to be the 48 driver of Nate Wimhoff. Nate, quick night tonight. How you feeling?
It felt pretty good. Overall, I felt like I could have made the set tighter. One thing, Jesse's fast. I felt good keeping pace with him there the whole race. Just kind of sucked that he got away from me, and the times I slipped up, and I just could not make ground back up to him. kind of annoyed that the middle line that I like to that usually rubbers up down at the bottom. I usually like that line later on, but that just line never came in.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate to see, but you managed to, I mean, you had pace all night, and granted, we didn't really get to see a lot of you because we had the extremely short heat races into the immediate feature. Did a shortened session like that, do you think makes things easier or makes things harder for a driver?
I think it made it easier. Not as many people to get around, especially when I have penalties I got to deal with. But I feel like it made it easier being up front a lot sooner, a lot earlier, and just keeping pace. And especially when this is my favorite track, and just being able to keep a good pace and keep up with the cars in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, you were absolutely rapid here tonight. And we head to Lernerville next week. Going to be the penultimate round in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. How do you feel about going to Lernerville? Is that somewhere you like?
It's a track I always get hit or miss. There's times I do really good, and there's times where it's just like I don't know what the hell's going on. So hopefully I can get some practice and hopefully get something worked out for next week.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, we're going to let you get out of here and celebrate your podium, Nate. But before we do, is there anybody you would like to thank or shout out for the performance here tonight?
Midwest and Starts, especially Brandon Schatz for putting in the time and effort for the setups. Felt really good. Aces and Eights for the wrap. And Majulis and C for their consistently good setups.
Yes, sir. Well, Nate, it was fantastic talking to you. Hopefully you find similar success next week and for the championship round at Knoxville. But for now, we'll let you get out of here and celebrate your P3 finisher here tonight, the 48 Super Late model of Nate Wimhoff.
Thank you.
And now switching gears. If I can find them. Oh, no. There we go. Switching gears, we move to our P2 finisher on the night. It's going to be Zach Metzner. Zach, how you feeling?
I'm all right. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all. I'm all right. How about you, Mac?
But hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. It was a fun race to watch. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of racing. It seemed to be over just so quick here tonight. What do you have to say to that? I mean, there's not as many cars, not as many sessions, so the track isn't getting packed in as much. Is it something you can feel out on the track, and was it more of an advantage to you, or did you not like it?
I mean, I thought the track was fine for like the first 20 to 30 laps. I know like Jesse and I were kind of running like low, like middle low, and then I went up top a couple laps, and then he followed suit like a lap or two later. But I mean, it's Cedar Lake. I mean, that especially 3 and 4, it gets to be like just ice out there, so it's kind of hard to run anywhere else unless you're on harder tires. But even then, I mean, there was no caution, so like even the people who were on the harder tires couldn't even take advantage of it. So, I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting it to go green to checkered. I won't lie. I was expecting for once on this. I've had bad luck this season in this series, unfortunately.
Yeah, hey, man, it is what it is, but you got it done here tonight. Your P2 finisher, Zach Metzner.
See you, Mac.
And now moving on to our winner here in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. Here tonight, it's going to be the number 11 of Jesse Newsome for Coast to Coast. Jesse, how you feeling?
Well, I'm doing good. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much, but watching you back to your peak form. You were incredibly rapid here tonight. No connection issues this time. Thank the Lord. You got it done. And the championship, it got a little tight on you there, but with the win here tonight, I'm sure it's going to just stretch that lead back out to kind of what it was. Did you kind of expect this? Did you have a lot of practice going into tonight?
And I had zero practice going into tonight. I've been trying to sort of step away from the dirt stuff and run a little bit more asphalt stuff. You know, not entirely, but just trying to find something new with the situation that iRacing is in right now, and obviously the dirt side is dying a little bit. So I've been trying to search for new things, but I got into tonight. I knew Cedar Lake is always one of the tracks that I not really favor, but I'm also not terrible at. So I knew I was going to have a little bit of speed to carry with me, and obviously it showed. I got lucky, qualified on the pole, didn't really have to work too hard for that. And yeah, in the future, I honestly just kept to my plan of saving tires and just moving up whenever I needed to, watching the track as much as I needed to, and yeah, I just was on cruise control from there on out and drove away.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like that is exactly what you did. Now, I have to ask, I've asked the other two guys who I've interviewed, but shorter session tonight, not as many cars, resulting in not as packed in of a track, I assume. Is that something you liked to see, considering, you know, your strategy of trying to save and just use enough to kind of stay out in front?
I 100% prefer the slick tracks more than anything. I like sort of hammer down, tacky, running the top and stuff like that. But I mean, I 100% prefer the slick stuff way better. But I mean, obviously there's a difference between rubber and slick, but I just like the slick and sliding around, and really the driver's side shows more than the setup. So yeah, if I had to choose, I'd definitely go with the slick stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, without a doubt, you're fast no matter the track that you are on. So, Jesse, with the win here tonight, you're back into the winning ways column. So, who do you have to thank or shout out for the performance here tonight?
First off, I want to thank you, and while I'm here, I want to formally apologize to you and the admins for what I said at I-55. That was definitely uncalled for, and I also could have picked my words a little bit better. But just want to apologize to y'all and everybody at Coast to Coast. I want to thank everybody at CFM, Chris Ferguson, Blake Majulis, Evan C., and especially Evan C. He's added me to the NASCAR program now, so we're going to try and work a little bit better on that. But I just want to thank everybody that helps out, and especially you and the admins for putting this thing out.
Yes, sir. Well, I just want to reciprocate it back to you. I do apologize for snapping at you last week. Takes a lot of a man to admit, something went awry, something went wrong. So I do appreciate that, and I want to reciprocate that apology to you. And, hopefully, move on. I mean, I'm more than likely going to be talking to you a little more as we enter these last 2 weeks. So glad to see that is all water under the bridge. But that is going to be your winner here at Cedar Lake tonight. And I think that's 6th win or 7th possibly on the season.
Maybe the 5th or 6th one. I can't remember.
Anyway, multi-time winner, championship leader. He gets it done here tonight at Cedar Lake. It's going to be the C2C driver of Jesse Newsom.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for what was a fantastic event, and I've waited too long like normal. And we're just, you got the black screen, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you got. I'll see if I can pull up. Yes, okay, we can pull up a little bit of a replay here. So you're not looking at the total ethereal darkness, but that is going to do it for round number 10 of the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour live from Cedar Lake. My name, Mac Nelson, lone voice in the booth, pushing all the buttons, making all the calls. Big shout out to No Limit Racing and their crew for having me on here for the broadcast. Big shout out to the drivers for everything you guys do every single week. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. The admin team wouldn't be here. The league wouldn't be here. So big shout out to you guys. Also, big shout out to the admin crew, because without them, the league wouldn't exist. So, it's all just a bunch of checks and balances, kind of like any form of modern government. However, next week we go to Lernerville. That is going to be round number 11 and the penultimate round here in the Crown Jewel Tour before we end things off at Knoxville. I almost forgot for a second. I had a little bit of a brain fart. But yeah, it's going to be Knoxville. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Very, very short broadcast here tonight, unfortunately. Maybe the car count will be up for the next 2 weeks. We'll have to see. But it was a fantastic night while I had you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of each other and take care of yourself. Said that backwards. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. We'll see you in the next one.